What's going on, guys? Alex here with 814 EDC, and today I'm ready to do my full review on the Remette Swordfish. This is in via the Lefty passaround group, and I don't think this is a Lefty knife. I believe this is someone else in the group put this in, so I apologize for not remembering who did that right off the top of my head, but it is in via the Lefty passaround group. And yeah, we're gonna give you guys my full thoughts and opinions on the Swordfish. Yeah. It's a cool knife. I feel like it's a little bit gimmicky for my taste. I would never, now that I've had one in and experienced one, I don't think I would ever, buy one and add one for the collection for me. It's just not something that I'm going to go out of my way to, buy. But I get, the novelty of it, and it is, in a way cool. It definitely is cool, but in a way it's a practical knife to some people. But for me, just not something I would again want to add to my collection. But we're going to jump right into the review, starting off with materials. So there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. There's 11 different variations of the Swordfish on Remette's website. I will leave a link to their page down below if you guys are interested in going and checking this out. Of course, the only one that is sold out is this version right now. There's one other black version, and then a plethora plain tie versions with different milling patterns, different fat carbon, carbon fiber. I'm not going to go through and list everything because when I click on it, it's very slow for moving from, it's very slow on moving from item to item. So I'm not going to list everything, but again, you guys can go check it out down below. But this is a titanium, I don't want to say frame knife, but it's basically like a manual OTF. It's a gravity knife, an OTF, whatever you want to call it. And it's very, it's a new and upcoming thing from Remette. I believe they just came out with it earlier this year. You guys can see this is blackened titanium with this kind of stamped milling pattern. You have the actuator slide right here, which opens these side. They act as a pincher point for the knife. You slide it up. So I'm sliding the slider up, make the knife come out. It is rocking a M390 DLC blade. I want to say it's a drop point. I know it's not a drop point. It has a clip pointness to it up here, kind of a Bowie. Pretty thin behind the edge. Yeah, kind of medium blade stock thickness. A little bit of rattle, but it doesn't make any noise. Then when you want to go to close it, you just slide the actuator up. The pinchers open up and it slides right into place. This is titanium alloy. Has a nebula fat carbon or carbon fiber inlay right here. I really like how that looks. Yeah, you got a pot clip back here that is righty only. No left-handed carry. You get a lanyard loop if you guys are interested in putting a lanyard on here. But very much in the same vein as an OTF. You just don't have, when you push it up, you don't have anything shooting up out of it. You have to manipulate it like this. But materials, I mean, really like the way that the black stamped pattern goes on here. And then again, I really like the nebula fat carbon or carbon fiber, camo carbon, whatever the hell it is. Mill clip, beautiful. Oops. M390 blade. We're going to go 5 out of 5 when it comes to materials. Some quick specs for you guys. So you get an overall length, 7.6 inches from tip to butt. You get a blade length of just over 3 inches at 3.03. You get a closed length / handle length of 4.65, a blade thickness of 0.12, and it comes in weighing 4.35 ounces, which very much feels on brand when it is in hand. And yeah, again, I will leave a link to the description or in the description down below if you guys are interested in going and checking out all of the different variations of it. Again, there's 11 to choose from, and this is the only one currently sold out. But next we are going to move on to aesthetic. And I like the way the knife looks. I really, I think it looks good. Clip points aren't, the biggest eye candy for me. They're kind of one of my least favorite blade shapes. But again, I really like the little bit of a milling pattern going on here. On the side, you kind of have these slots. The nebula fat carbon goes right here. You're jimping on this up top as well as the bottom where this finger will go. You got Remette stamped on there, and 390. Very minimal branding, which I really like. And I think it looks good. I don't really have an issue or a gripe with how it looks. So we're just going to go quick and easy here. 5 out of 5 on the aesthetic. Next up, we're going to talk about action. And that is where I don't really have, an issue with the knife. I just don't think, it's just kind of gimmicky in my opinion. I mean, you can open it like that, drops it down. Or you have to just tote it upside down. You pull it out of your pocket, drop it, and close it. I mean, it's cool to fidget with. I just don't think I would want this to be my preferred everyday carry. And I just don't think I enjoy it enough to, have it as like a random, again, kind of gimmicky knife. And that's not to say that Remette is a gimmicky company, because they're really not. This is a very well-made product. The tolerances are great, and Remette has really been killing it with, all of their models that I have been seeing / checked out recently. The RTB was amazing for like $55. But the action is just, I don't know. It's cool, but I've just kind of been back and forth on this knife, and it just kind of comes out as meh to me. I don't know. It's good. Coming out it's kind of slow, but it drops down. Kind of just comes out, but then when you want it to close, it drops down real fast. And of course, again, you can go like that, or you can, I'm mimicking pulling it out of my pocket, pulling it to the side, pushing the actuator, it slides out, cutting things, dropping it, putting it back in your pocket. I'm going to go 4.5. I appreciate the gimmicky part of it. I can appreciate what they're trying to do, but it's just not doing necessarily it for me. It's kind of the same review I'm feeling with the Psyop. Great knives, they're just not, doing the fizzy wizzies. It's just not making me feel like, oh my God, I love this knife so much kind of thing. So while this is kind of cool, it gets old after like 5 or 6 openings. But I don't want to go any lower than 4.5, because I don't think that it's, any deserving less of that. So we'll go 4.5 on the action, and we're going to move on. Next up is acoustics. You get a little bit of tinginess in there. You get a little bit of the high pitchedness. Not a whole lot, but it's there. We'll go 4.5 on that as well. I don't want to spend too much time on here talking about it, because it's just acoustics, but the more you play with it, the better it gets. I'm assuming it gets more loosened up. I haven't carried this in like a couple days, so it's a little bit, not stiff, but we'll go 4.5 and move on. Not a true 5, but much better than, a 3.5 or 4. Next up is ergos. And this is a very simple frame knife. You have pretty much straight line, nice parallel edge back here. It's kind of it gives off like a coffin coffin handle shape, which I really like. I love when, knives are completely parallel, and that is exactly what the Swordfish does. It's the same on this side, tapers off at the bottom. Same thing. You got a pot clip and a carbon fiber, fat carbon, camo carbon, whatever the hell it is, inlay back here. I can get a full 4-finger grip on the knife. You do have a little bit of jimping right here on both sides of the pincher area, one for your thumb, one for your pointer finger that is wrapped around there. It's very comfortable. The clip is nice and flush to the scale, so it's a pretty thin clip as well. No, it's a little bit sharp at the edge right here. Not sharp, but a little bit pointy at the edge of the clip right here. But nothing that is, going to cause a hot spot, because it is buried into my knuckle. So nothing really to complain about. You have the actuator switch right here, which of course has some jimping on it. But when you're using it like this, it's out of the way from your hands. It's a well-designed knife. It's a very comfortable knife to use and to cut with. I don't know how hardcore you could go with this. I only cut a few, I think like an Amazon package or 2, and maybe a letter, just real simple things. But as far as ergos are concerned, very, very comfortable knife to use and to hold. and to cut with. So we're going to go 5 out of 5. Next up is carry. You have a multi-titanium clip that is righty only. You have about that much sticking out of your pocket. Not the end of the world, but again, I definitely prefer when knives are single screw versus 2 screws. I know 2 screws gives you better, durability of the knife, and it just makes it more structurally sound. But I just love when you're able to get one clip screw out of there, and it gives you just more pocket space. It gets it deeper into your pocket. But it's in and out of pocket pretty well. It is a little bit stiff, but nothing too bad. Sits right there. You have no flipper tab. You do have a little bit of jimping, I guess. It is jimping, but it's just very, very, fine jimping. Not overly aggressive in the slightest. So it sits down in your pocket, carries fine. It did come with a leather, slip type thing. I never used that. I only carried it like this. It is a little bit heavy. But it's not bad, and I really like just the overall slim, sleek design. It just tucks in the pocket real nice, and nothing really to complain about it there. We're gonna go 5 out of 5 on the carry, and that leads me to my final category of price point / value / what I recommend this knife. So as far as recommending it to you guys, if you are looking for something that is a titch gimmicky, a titch, kind of a fun knife to play with, then yes, I can recommend this, and I think that you are going to enjoy it. If you're looking for an OTF that, if you're wanting an OTF but maybe can't have an automatic knife, I don't know how far this qualifies as a gravity knife, but it doesn't have any automaticness to it, so you can utilize it, in that shape or that vein, because it basically functions the same way. You just kind of have to flick it open yourself, but it's very cool in that aspect. The price point on this one is $316. The plain tie ones start around, I believe, $275, $280. I don't think that's a great value as far as value, points are concerned. But again, it's a new innovative knife. It's different. It's a little bit more moving parts than just a folding knife. So I do have to understand that. I think maybe a better value price point for this would be closer to $250. I know the DLC versions are more expensive because, of course, they're DLC. I can't recommend 316 to you guys as a value. I even feel like that's maybe a titch too expensive. I feel like maybe 300 at most would be, an okay price for this. So as far as that goes, I think a 4 is valuable here, is fine to give. I don't know. It's a cool knife at the end of the day, but when it comes down to, is this the best bang for your buck? No, but again, it's different. It's cool to see, companies going out of their comfort zone to design things like this. But I just don't think it's a great value. And for me, I would never spend that much on a knife like this. Happy I've gotten to check it out. Happy I've gotten to experience it, but just not something that I want to add to my collection. I much prefer, a different style of knives. That's okay. Everyone has their own, their own methods, their own way of thinking about things. And that's just kind of where I'm at with the Swordfish. But let me add this up real quick. And that's not to say this is a bad knife. I feel like both of these, I didn't really enjoy that much. I enjoyed them, but I didn't love them that much. And the PSYOP still scored pretty high. It's still, put in the fantastic category. So we'll see where the Swordfish lands. And the Swordfish is, again, going to land similarly to the PSYOP in the fantastic category, coming in with a score of 33 points. So, yeah, that's just how I ended up. It's just, I can still believe a knife is good and still score a knife well without fully loving the knife and fully embracing it for what it is. Again, I'm happy I've gotten to check this out, but I'm never really going to look back and never think to myself, man, I really wish I would have picked up a Swordfish after I reviewed it, because I just really loved it. Thought the case, liked it, think it's cool, but I'm ready to move on for it. I'm sure someone else is ready to check this out in the pass around group. But yeah, 33, fantastic. Is that surprising to me? Absolutely, I think it is. I wasn't expecting it to score that high. I was expecting it to score probably closer to 30. But once we get in here and start talking about, the minute details, the nitty-gritty things, that's just where it ended up, and I think that's a fair score for it. Do any of you guys have a swordfish at home? If you do, let me know down below. Do you guys like the aspects of it that maybe I don't like, or are you kind of siding with me that you think it's maybe a little bit too gimmicky, and it's just not something for you? Leave a comment down below. I always love to hear what you guys have to say. But I'm gonna wrap this up now. So thank you guys again so much for watching. This was my full review of the Remette Knives Swordfish. Huge shout out to Kev over at Lefty VC and the unnamed person that I know put this into the passaround, but cannot remember who put it in. Thank you as well. And so thank you guys again so much for watching. I greatly appreciate each and every single one of you guys. I hope you have a fantastic rest of your morning, evening, night, day, whenever you're watching this. I'll talk to you guys in the next one. Peace.